5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello, hello, hello.
A wonderful good morning from Germany. Hi, Andrea.
Guten Morgen, wie bist du?
Danke, alles super gut hier. So, it's 9 o'clock here, and they can't start better to see you and talk to you.
I think there are so many people just following and checking all these sessions. So we will get a nice little time together, and we will have a little bit of understanding about who you are and where are you coming from. We were speaking a little bit of German with Jürgen, and he is my practicing partner sometimes because I haven't spoken German for such a long time, and it was stronger than my English, so I need to practice sometimes. So Jürgen, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you coming from? What's your background? And also about your personality. What do you like to do in your free time?
Oh my gosh, we have only 25 minutes, so I have to focus. Yeah. So, okay, as already said, I'm born in Germany, grown up in Germany, worked most of my life there. With a short interruption, I worked 2.5 years in Copenhagen, the capital of Denmark, but also for the same company. And I'm 59 years. I'm working for Boehringer Ingelheim since now close to 25 years. I worked 13 years in consumer healthcare. So when we had this on the human pharma side, the non-prescription piece, and then some years ago we did a swap thing with Sanofi. So we sold all these products to Sanofi and bought their animal health business. So and I moved already 10 years ago into our animal health division, working there now since 11 years, and currently I'm in global project leader for the development of new pharmaceutical treatments, mainly for pets. So I'm also then coming to me personally. I'm a cat person all my life, so I grew up with dogs and cats. But the moment I started to work, I realized that cats and outdoor cats in particular fit better to my personality, and this was a constant now for the rest of so far of my life. Still have one. And so what are my hobbies? I'm someone who's very fond of nature. I try to be out as much as possible, walking, hiking, running, but in particular spring to autumn, you will see me on my mountain bike somewhere outside. I love cooking. I'm a wine and coffee enthusiast. So I'm privileged living in one of the most renowned white wine areas of the world. So that's quite nice. Yeah, and I think that's in a nutshell about me. And maybe one thing and why we also talk. So since probably all my life, I'm trying to support all activities around gender equality, diversity, and inclusion. I'm also quite active in our company here in certain activities. I guess we will talk about that in a while. So yeah. And last point, I had a scholarship from a very famous organization in Germany, the Konrad Adenauer Foundation. And as an alumni, I'm a member of the board there and taking care of, oh my gosh, 15,000 now alumni, which are organized in regional groups. And this is another, let's say, thing which I love to do since a few years now.
Love it. So many things. I just meet with such a gem. I mean, all of you, all the 200 speakers have so many things in the background and doing so many things for humanity and other people. And I'm just always like in an hour where I salute you for all the things that you do as a man, also fighting for empowerment for women and also gender equality. It's something very unique and it's very a rare bird. I would say not a rare cat, but a rare bird. So Jürgen, your topic today, what you chose was employees through an initiative to support diversity inclusion in a globally operating company. So this is a very long title. Let's start with the beginning. So first, the definition straight. What is employee-driven initiative? How does it look like? How does it start? What does it take to support it and to make it successful?
You know, we can even skip the global operating company, because in the end, you know, the starting point is the same like in your you know, just in your private life or with your friends around. It takes 1, 2, 3 people, who believe in something and start talking about it and getting, you know, attention and then making something out of it. And of course, the more supporters they found, and even, you know, in a company, then of course it's then also when it fits into the culture. Yeah. So what I was referring to is mainly within Boehringer Ingelheim, we have an initiative which was founded or started maybe 5-6 years ago already. So it was started by women who said, okay, we have to do something. We have the feeling, you know, it's about equal salary, it's about equal opportunities, how to bring family life and business life together. So the classical topics which we hear all the time, and they started an initiative and called it BI Women. And BI as the abbreviation for Boehringer Ingelheim, and women written capital WOM and then an asterisk and then a big M, EN. So bring it together, and this initiative was realizing, I think, early on that it's more successful if they took men into this initiative, because when you have the feeling you are in a men-driven world, it makes somewhat sense, to integrate them into your initiative, So they did, and in the meantime, now after 6 years, we are a team of about 15 people who are constantly working on this topic, and now we have a distribution. I think it's 60% is women, but 40% are men, and the idea behind it is that we raise awareness for certain topics, And Boehringer Ingelheim, in the meantime, has an own department called Diversity and Inclusion, which is globally set up and has then, you know, its satellite in the different countries, OPUs. As we both know, and you are living, you know, in a country where you were born and grown up, so you cannot make a top-down approach. That will never fly. You can set a framework and say there's a constant support, and then of course the initiatives have to be localized. So I'm in a headquarter function in Ingelheim, and so we do it in the headquarter. And when we do any kind of event, which are a mixture of face-to-face meetings, and of course of Corona, we had to go more or less the last 1.5 years. Everything went into the famous Zoom or MS Teams world, And but the good news is, and this is something which maybe many people have observed, we could enlarge the audience by this. Interestingly, So if we make something locally in our on site, we have 100 people. Now we have, on average, 400-500 people who participate, and then from all over the world. So this is something. And then maybe a last comment for the intro. I'm working in a family-owned business. So we are not on the stock exchange. We are in the pharmaceutical world. We are number one when it's a family-owned business, and we have the 100% support from the family and from the stakeholders. And so even the board is constantly involved And just today, after our session, we have a session with a board member. So our female board member for marketing and sales, and the head of HR, the new one. And we do exactly again what we are just talking about. So 1.5 hour talking about things like, also we have also a father network. So it's not just, it's also single fathers or fathers who stay home or do more into invest there. So it's a lot of very, very nice initiatives. And so on average, we have, let's say 4 or 5 events a year. And we do that all, in our extra time. So, and we have regular meetings once a month, and so it's really something which gives me a lot of energy also.
That's beautiful. I believe in this also. When I started last year, the Global Empowerment Summits, I was targeting women first, and I put intentionally Global Women Empowerment Summit or Global Women Summit. And then throughout the sessions, I was intentionally crossing through the women, just because I want to show the people that the label doesn't really mean anything, because problems can be solved only if more diverse group of people is coming together, giving all the different angles of a problem, and then they try to solve it. And the question that I have here is, sometimes it's really good. We have a lot of events, we have a lot of people joining in, but the execution is missing. So how do you make it sure in your organization or throughout your meetings and throughout your network that the things are done, what you are talking about at the meeting, they are implemented internationally or globally in your company?
So as I gave the hint in the beginning, the good thing is that you need a little bit to institutionalize it. Yeah. So there is a department with a global head of diversity and inclusion. So it is also, part of HR and also has a top-down approach, from a leadership perspective. I think, that in the end, better than I do with all the things you are doing, it's all about people. Yeah, it's not about a document written or a nice flyer made or a super video. So as you said, the actions are what counts. So one of the things which this company started already early on is, for example, having a look, on the amount of women in leadership positions, starting from the board and then, going down. You have to know that DI is quite a flat company. So we are not very, we don't have 10 layers. So till to the, let's say, assistant job or so. So it's really very flat. It's maybe 3-4 layers only. However, we also, when they did an analysis, it was a horrible number. So no one could be happy with that. Yeah. But, so you have to be sometimes also a little bit data driven, because that's facts. No one can cheat. Yeah. So it's just, we can count Andrea, Jürgen, Andrea. So then we know it's maybe not the person we want. And then there was a commitment, from the family and the board to say, we want to increase that. And the good news is, I think it's a good news. And also, at least my female counterpart supporters, we didn't work with quotes. We didn't say like the politicians love to, it has to be this and this percentage in 2020 something. Yeah. So, because that's far away from the reality. You first need to see what you have and then see what you can make a target and so. And I could only say that the last 5 years where I followed that up, it has significantly, and I mean significantly, improved. And improving means that it becomes a mindset. Yeah. And the mindset means it has to go into the leadership training. It has to go into the constant, development of leadership skills and so on. And what I love about the thing, at least here in this company, and I see more and more often, is that my female counterparts are happy that we don't have a quote, but they say, we will come in such positions because we are the best. We are exactly those who are in need. Yeah, and one of the things we just a recent initiative where it's still maybe it's a little bit exceptional, but when you look into the facts, it's not. We had an event with IT and female leadership in IT. Because instinctively, if you would make a market research, I guess most people will allocate it to men. Yeah, so that's all men. Yeah, which is, by the way, first of all, not true. and secondly, we had a discussion. We invited a professor who is doing a lot of research on this area, and she was talking about, also for leadership positions in IT. You don't necessarily have to be the IT freak and guru. You need other competencies which make more sense. And then she introduced the empathy, the famous empathy and project management and other things which maybe are sometimes more in the nature of a woman, without now saying men cannot do that. And it was very interesting. And so they have an own program now, in the famous BRIC things, so that more women are interested. We are even at universities, and saying, what about natural sciences? What about IT? What about engineers? Why everyone wants to become a doctor or studying economics and so on. And so I see that in particular because of course, we are also a technology-driven company as a pharmaceutical company, and that has significantly increased. And then another initiative which I love is called Africa Kommt. So Africa is coming, where we, with many different industries and different partners, have developed a very successful program for young African people, and this is also a lot of women which are also now in the company. So they come for a year, and yes, it's wonderful. There's a lot of really, really interesting things going on.
And it's beautiful from the perspective that it's kind of like a pharmaceutical company, right? So researchers also most of the time are supposed to seen as men, right? So it's very rare to hear about researchers who are women, although in the history we had Marie Curie, we had so many people who were coming from this kind of background, and it's like, yeah, there has to be something different here. It's not only men who are in this field, right, Jürgen?
And Andrea, I can only speak for Germany, but I think there's a tendency, at least in Europe, when you think of physicians and pharmacists, at least it was a male-driven thing. I would say 30 years ago, 80% were men and like 20% women. If you look at the most recent statistics at universities, it has turned exactly the opposite. It's now close to 80% women who wants to become a physician, and also a pharmacist is a women-dominated thing in the universities now. And the thing is, this may reflect many things, but it for example, the pharmacist, I believe it also reflects quite nicely the fact that women can much better, align with their private life, because the flexibility in working hours is just different, and it's not the classical 9 to 5. But because of the opening hours, they have a lot. There's a big one of the biggest pharmacies in Germany is not far away from here, and I know the owner quite well. She opens every day from 8 to 9, so it's 13 hours. She said, Jürgen, there is not a single model which I have not introduced, so women can work with me. I need them, so I have to be flexible, and they value my flexibility with loyalty, and so this pharmacy, you see maybe 1-2 men once in a while, and the rest is really now women, and I think that's a very, that's, for me, it's just an interim step, that we are able to combine things, but still a way to go, for the top positions.
And what are men saying about this when you introduce the idea, because not every man is as open-minded, not every man thinks about this the same way. Maybe you ran into some people who were against it. So what are the things that you listen to or hear from men as excuses or anything that is against it? Or are there anything like this?
You remember, maybe some of the audience had listened to the other workshop I was with you when we discussed, some of these topics also. I think it's a little bit a generation thing. However, I'm one of the last baby boomers, yeah. So now I see in the workforce, first the millennials and the Generation X and now the Generation Z, and you can observe that. The guiding, the leading things, what they love and so on have changed, So I told you 25 years in the company, loyalty is a big issue nowadays in companies, people just, looking more on how it's nice for me to work. How can I have the famous work-life balance? And loyalty is no longer the big thing. So I know for many companies, keeping their best is a big challenge nowadays compared to earlier, and I think what happens, in men is to change two things. First of all, that women are not, against anything, or they are not enemies, but they are partners in crime, or whatever you will call them. So and see in particular, what they add. What was not there before on the positive side, yeah. And so I think it's a little bit, often, of course, we still have young men who are quite conservative in things. So not in my company, I talk now in general, but I think I see that, in the end, even if it's a little bit a longer process, the outcome is the most convincing argument. What has changed since. And therefore I know that in our company there's always enough room for reflection. Yeah, so have a look at it. And we started when I started working as a project manager leader. You often started at the end of a project to reflect what went well, what went right, and now we added more components into that. It's about the people in the position. Why. And when you think about it, when I as a project manager or leader now discuss with my line manager, I need this and this person, I can qualify, and what I need I have much more variety since we added and said it doesn't matter the gender. I don't care about gender, race, color. It's not important. It's about who can add the most value. And I'm luckily in a position that I can even choose people all over the world. So I have a bigger variety. Yeah. So when I want to introduce a product in the US, I will ensure that there is a significant amount of US people in my team with this and these competences, and their women and men are absolutely equal. Interesting, in my ongoing 3 project, it's dominated by women even in my team. So yeah, because of your question, I think interestingly, I would say it has more or less stopped to that there is critical feedback and so on. I think what happens, of course, is a little bit, sometimes the same like we had before, the other way around. Some men feel they are, how should I say, have a handicap because they are not a woman. Yeah, so it feels like the woman is preferred now. So as if we have turned around history. But I think that it's more a reflex. I don't see that as a truth. In the meantime, I think when we talk about gender equality, this famous example of orchestras. Yeah, if a musician if they have to play to become a member and they did it behind the curtain, there's a different result compared to when they see whether it's a man or a woman. It's still a fact. So you see, and this is what we try to do. Mm-hmm. Make the same, like the curtain is down, but it's not. It's open. Everyone has this, and then we are talking about equality. Yeah, everyone has the same chance.
I love this. I love the curtain idea that please just imagine before you meet someone that clear that up in your mind. Who is it? Whether it's a guy or a man or a more black or white or this culture, that culture, just take it away and then see the real person in front of you instead of all the conditioning that is maybe not is even coming from you, but coming from
Exactly.
the society and the things that you heard around yourself or coming from your mom, your grandfather, your friends, or anything that you hear in an advertisement. So it's really, really interesting. And I love the message, Jürgen. I have to be honest with you. It's a beautiful topic that you brought to this table. So I'm really thankful for this. And I'm really thankful for your company for doing this. I don't know whether they were originally like this or there were a troop of revolutionists coming and turning it around. How did it start? Let's just discuss this in the last 5 minutes. Like, how did it start within your company? Maybe you researched it before you joined the company. Was it originally their CSR like this? Was it originally someone in the company who was a woman at the beginning? Or what is the secret here?
I think the secret, is what I mentioned at the very beginning. There were 3-4 women which are still in our team who believed in something and bundled their energies and their beliefs. And then, of course, what is very, very important is they had the real supporters, on the next, let's say 1-2 levels, because in a big company like ours with 52,000 employees, you need supporters, you need to build up your network. So, and they were quite successful. And I think from this network there, that was also when they realized they need to introduce some men into their team, because that would multiply, the audience also to listen. So I would say, and then of course the first events, when you make events where either very top level people from the company are participating and talking openly about such topics, and believe me, 5-10 years ago it was still a hot topic. It was not a self-running thing. So that was the thing, the commitment from the family, from the ownership, from start one, and then I think that and then I think the multiplication started that, the line managers and the department heads and division heads talking again about it positively, encouraging people. Have you heard about this? And so on. So it was a lot of really floor talk in the beginning. And then we realized, out of the headquarters that some initiatives have started locally. There was one in the US, there was one, and then we combined forces. So it was really like, a classical pyramid thing. So we started here and then boom, boom, boom. And now it's, I think it's running quite nicely. The good news and also what is important is our team, we are supported from the company, from this department, but we act completely independent. So there's no one telling us what to do and what not to do. So, but on the other hand, we have now find a way to be sure that we get the commitment. So even, and if there's a very hot topic, for example, the LBQT topic, but even that was openly, and we had even a 1 day, on this topic. So there's a lot of positive things, and I can only say, and this is not advertisement, but I believe I work in a company which, if someone says this is a real hot topic, an important thing for me, they are very welcome here.
What an amazing and innovative company. That's really nice to hear. I would love to see more companies like this, and it's so inspiring. And I hope if you rewatch this session, then you will become also inspired, even if you are watching it from a company who is thinking to make a CSR a bit better, a bit more efficient, a bit more real, and a bit more engaging for people. Then you can learn a few tips from Jürgen. And please, if you would like to reach out to Jürgen, then you can find him on LinkedIn. I believe that's the easiest way. And write into the comments that you were watching this on GES 2021. And then he will know that you saw what he was talking about. And this is his passion. It's visible. So thank you very much for doing this, Jürgen.
Thank you, Andrea, for the invitation. It was a pleasure to be in these 2 sessions. And I wish the rest of your 1.5 week now also best of success. And I think everyone who is listening should also clap hands for Andrea for this amazing thing, which he did already the second time. So yeah, thank you for that. And we talk soon again, I hope.
Yes, we talk soon. And thank you for being on board. Jürgen, enjoy your day and get a little bit of sunshine if you can.
I will do so. So take good care and talk soon. Bye, Andrea. Thank you.
Bye. Hello. We switched studio like in a professional TV show. We are here with Salvatore. Hi, Salvatore. How are you today? Wait, you have to, a professional TV show. Unmute yourself.
How rude. It wouldn't be like me to make an entrance, would it?
It just makes it much more funny. I believe that people will enjoy it. So you see here, everything is real from the little moments till the end. Everything is real, right from the heart of the people.
How are you?
I'm good. Still haven't gone crazy, so it's still okay. This is the 5th week, so I'm kind of like very starting to get the hang of it, and I think I will miss you guys after the 6 weeks. I will catch myself on taking up the phone and writing, "Where are you, Salvatore? You are having a session," something like this.
Love it.
So
Brilliant.
guys, really nice to have you here, Salvatore, and also big thank you for everyone who is watching it. This is kind of like an afternoon session, so I know most of you are on the way to home to handle the kids or prepare the afternoon and getting a last energy to work a little bit more. So here with Salvatore, we are just bringing a little bit of light to your afternoon from Spain and from Malaysia. So, Salvatore, how have you been? How are you today? And tell us a little bit about yourself if someone is not knowing you or haven't watched the previous sessions with you.
Yeah, so I'm Salvatore Bruno, and you've already mentioned that I'm here sitting in Spain. So for me, it's morning. It's 9:30 in the morning. So hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. And essentially, I'm doing great. In a nutshell, it's been good, and I've been really enjoyed our previous sessions. So anyone who doesn't know me, I specialize in fat loss, and I also are I'm a mindset mentor. So basically, what I do is I help people all over the world to improve their lifestyle, their habits, their routines by using 3 key ingredients, which is fitness, nutrition, and mindset. That's what I've been doing for years, and that's what I continue to do because I love it. And if no one's seen me and Andrea do a session before, it's normally lots of laughs and lots of giggles because that's what life is all about, and it should be enjoyed. So that's me in a nutshell.
And don't forget, if you are in Spain, you have to go to Salvatore and you have to knock on his door, because if you say GES 221 in his front door, he will let you in and treat me with your paella.
The Andrea's Business 101. This is setting up her own Airbnb.
So, Salvatore, let's get to today's topic, which is about mindset and lifestyle change. We have around 20 minutes to talk about it, so let's get into it. What do you mean with lifestyle change and mindset change? Why are they going together, and why one cannot exist without the other?
Yeah, it's a really hot topic, I believe, especially over the last 2 years. People's lifestyles have changed dramatically. And because of that, the mindset needs to come into play. Years ago, a lot of people who were talking mindset, there's a very small percentage of people that would actually talk about it openly. And now people are quite open to talk about it because they understand that to change your lifestyle from an unhappy one, you need to have a different mindset. But to go with that, you need to change your lifestyle. And this is where the habits and routines all kind of in line together with your mindset, with the way that you live. you know, what your current habits and routines are. And this is why now, and like I said, it is such a hot topic. You know, so many people are still suffering because of what's happened, that they are struggling to change the most simplest of habits. And this is why I like to make sure that people need to understand that having a lifestyle that you can enjoy doesn't mean that you have to be sitting on the beach every day. You know, naturally, people think that a positive mindset means that you know, you're going to be positive every single day. You know, I try to be as positive as I can, as you know, but I have my bad days too. You know, this is something that I'm very open about. You know, you can't be, and no one on this planet will be positive 100% of the time. But if you work towards trying to build a lifestyle and a mindset that gives you a positive and a better life 80% of the time, then you're winning.
And it's all about how you can get out of those moods, right? I believe the easiest thing what we can test, or what we can say with, I believe with you, Salvatore, too, that when you already are trained to see the positive side, it's much easier to get up and then start again after you had this 1 or 2 bad days, because you know that it's possible to get out of it. So once you get the hang of it, of coming out of the bad mood and starting again, it will become a habit itself. And it's not defining you anymore, right?
No, exactly. And you know that it's the same, for example, and I always say, like, let's say you have a negative circle. So let's say you're standing right in the middle of a circle and everything around you is negative. So the moment you get up or you go to bed or whatever it may be at the point of those days or your day, you're always going to see gray. You're always going to see negative. If your circle is all surrounded by positivity, the people around you, the work that you do, the sunshine, anything that you get happiness from, positivity from, it means that the moment you wake up, you're going to have much more positivity in your life, even though there will be some sectors of negativity. Now, the difference is trying to, as you said, is trying to get the people to change from the negative over to the positive. And that you have to do very slowly. Nice, small, simple steps. But what you need to do is make sure that you understand that you can't just go from one to the other. You know, it's not like one day you're just going to wake up and the world is perfect and positive and all that. It's not like that at all. You have to know what you're doing, plan it, structure your day, and make sure that you surround yourselves with things that you enjoy. And that is how you change bit by bit. The people that I meet and I help on a daily basis, they're normally in a situation, like I said, they're in that circle, that negative circle. And it can be to the point where, you know, sometimes it's the people around them that are causing the negativity. It could be the job that they're in for the last 10 years that they have never enjoyed, but they don't want, you know, they haven't got the power or this inner strength inside them to leave that job. Or it could be just a couple of habits throughout the day that gets them into a negative mindset throughout the day. And I say little, you'd be amazed how many people get up in the morning, read a newspaper or put on the news. And that's the first thing they see. It's the first thing, a first bit of information that goes into their head in the morning. And we now know that the news is a very negative thing. You know, you put the TV on, put the news on, it's negative. So we have to make sure that we continue to feed bits of positivity throughout our day.
Yeah, we have a few comments coming up. Nora is saying get out of the circle. Yeah. And then we have Sim Fong saying, just think of, we have lived more good days than bad, and we are a life winner. Which is totally, you know what, it reminds me, Salvatore, of, I think it was in Snoopy, the guy who always had the cloud on the top of him and the rain was always raining.
But it's true though, you know, we everybody knows someone that when they walk into the room, they just talk and everything is negative. And that the thing is, when you are in that negative bubble or that circle all the time, it's going to eat into you. You know, you're going to see things very short-sighted. You're not going to see a brighter future. You know, get out of the circle that, you know, that someone mentioned there. You know, that's a great one, because it is literally the old cliche saying about nothing happens in your comfort zone. You know, you have to step out your circle to start changing things if you want to have a more positive and a better life. You know, that is 100% right. Negativity is like a virus for sure. It is, and it feeds off others as well. And this is why, you know, lifestyle and mindset change can mean a great change. It can mean huge changes in your life, but also it can mean little things. And this is where, you know, people, when they start, oh, but I have to change my job, I have to do this, and then they start to panic. And then they go, no, I'm not going to do it. I can't do this. I can't do that. And this is why I say to people, if you're going to change, or you know what you don't like about your life, don't look at it as a mountain. You know, break it down into nice, small, simple steps, and do one tomorrow, and then do one the next day, and so on and so on.
I love it. I just put a challenge. So if you're a member of the website of the globalempowermenthub.com, we have a smile challenge. So if you would like to do a smile challenge and hug people and, you know, send smiles all around for a few days, then you can follow this smile challenge in the hub if you are a member. And then just let me know how it was, because it's very small steps, right? Start a circle or to break a circle. It also means that you can start a positive wave, and then other people will follow because you started it, right? So it has two different perspectives.
Yeah, it's you need to look, you know, everybody's different, so there's no point you trying to live your life the same as I live mine, and vice versa, and the same as everyone who's watching this. Everybody is unique, and this is the most important thing that people need to remember. People will look on social media and see other things going on, but what you need to do is to make sure that you do things that make you smile. You know, we are all creatures of habit, so we can change every habit that we do. From the moment that we get up, you know, turning off the TV and taking off the news, and I'm going to use that as an example, to put on some music. I know this one is what Andrew's going to love. You know, and dance around the room for 5-10 minutes will put you in a much better mood. Exactly. We'll put you in a much better mood than sitting there watching the, you know, the disasters and the terrible things that are going on around the world. And I'm not saying that you will be naturally affected by the news, but it's about making your day better. And it's from the moment you start, but it's not doing this one day a week. You need to make sure these habits and routines and these lifestyle changes that you make are every single day and become a habit. You know, it's like making sure that you make time for yourself to do enjoyable things.
I have someone who will knock on your door. Nora, if you're watching this, you search for Salvatore, you knock on his door, you say GES 21, and he is treating you with a paella.
Andrea gets a 10% commission.
Oh, I love it. Thank you very much for mentioning it, Nora. It was just at the right moment. Because, she will. So you have someone going to you.
I've already got a queue.
So let's talk about the small steps, Salvatore, because it's very important to give some examples to people. Maybe sometimes it's just missing that they don't really know what are the small steps. So what are the things that they can do if they are just in this circle and they just want to break out and then do some little changes in their life? What are the changes that are easy to implement, and what are the steps that they can do to do so?
The first thing out of it all is kind of having two lists. You know, you need to know what are the things in your life that you dislike, and you need to have another list of the things that you want to do. Okay. And the things that you have on your negative list, essentially the things that you dislike about your life, that's kind of something that you just put away, keep somewhere on a desk or a mirror somewhere. But the things that you want to do, like, you know, this list, this is something that you must see every morning. You know, it's like, you know, enjoy one thing that's different in the day, you know, a smile, if you know, for example, stuff like that. But the reason you have this list is because then you need to go to the second step, which essentially is having structure. Making sure that what you're doing throughout the day allows you time for, if you're working, to work, but also to make time to enjoy your life. You time. I classify it as selfish time. Okay. Selfish time is basically where you take time out of your day. It could be, oh, sorry about that. It's, it could be time out of your day. I say this to a lot of people, time out for your day, half an hour here or there, but make it a routine, something that will give you to be able to relax from the daily stresses, but something that will be able to give you joy. Now, I call it selfish time because if you've got a family, if you whatever the situation may be, you need to take time out just for you. And this could be the case of a nice relaxing bath and reading a book. It could be going out for a walk every day and listening not to music. We don't want to change this up for exercise. That's a different story. The walk is just for you to get out, break the routine, and just allow your mind to relax, but also to see the world. So an ebook, maybe a podcast, something different, so you don't see it as exercise. Bringing habits of better eating will make you feel better. Exercising every day is obviously another thing that will allow you to feel better mentally and physically. Now, I'm not talking about joining the gym and start going to the gym 5 days a week. I'm talking about, allowing yourself to train and to do something you may want to do at home, like a little quick HIIT session that may 25 minutes. You may find that a power walk is the only thing that you want to do. And then you may say, well, I'm going to challenge myself, so I'm going to start walking now, but in 3 months, I want to do a 5K run or whatever it may be. The little habits that you put in must be improvement of your current habits, okay? So when I say lifestyle habits, people automatically, when they're listening to this, may not understand what a routine habit is, but we all do it. From the moment that we get up, it'll be depending on what side of the bed you fall out of. It'll be depending on if you have a coffee or tea in the morning. It'll be all this right throughout the day until you go to bed. Okay. What we don't want to do is look at habits of like replacing them, or taking them out and changing them altogether. We want to look at habits like a chain. Okay. And all we want to do is replace the bad habits for good. So, for example, food is always a good one. Okay. If you know that you're not very good, and because of certain things that happened last year, a lot of people became certainly emotionally started to eat, drinking plenty of water. And what we need to make sure is that we replace those snacks essentially with other things. So what we do is we make sure that food is another habit that we look into, trying to eat a solid 3 meals a day to stop you snacking. And certain habits like this can help you basically break and feel better in yourself mentally and physically. The mental side of things, when you look at it, you need to look at it as people always, and as a I'm a fitness trainer as well. So as looking at it, people automatically think I'm going to tell them to go to the gym 5 days a week. But what people seem to forget is that the mind is also a muscle. We need to spend time to train it. We need to make sure that we're spending time on it every single day to improve it, to make it more positive. So why not, look at a YouTube clip that brings you, great pleasure. I know people that will sit there and watch a very funny video for 10 minutes because it makes them feel good. Do it. Whatever it may be, make sure that you are essentially feeding good seeds of positivity into your mind every single day. I hope that's answered your question. I'll see that we got a message come through.
Yeah, we had one comment from Laptis. The most important person is the self. Without the self-focus, we can't help others more. Thank you very much. Yeah,
100%
perfectly
right.
said. I'm always watching Graham Norton. I don't know whether you know him. When I need some uplifting, those shows are like, even if they are on replay for years, because I don't know, they don't really produce so many new things anymore. But I'm just getting back to those things because it's just relaxing my mind, and I can get a little bit of uplifting from the funny things that they're saying.
Yeah, no, it's very true. And I always recommend as a podcast, I've been following this gentleman for years, and his name is Tom Bilyeu. Now he made basically a business called Impact Theory. But the great thing about his podcast is it's not always about him. He's a great interviewer, but his guests are amazing. So what happens is that you can spend 45 minutes, an hour listening to some of these people that he interviews are very famous people, but you won't know those famous people for the hardship that they went through. Everybody at some point in their life has had to get through a barrier or had to climb a mountain, but they never talk about the actual climb. They just talk about, or what you see is just like success. You know, when people see me, all they see is just a smile on my face and happy. But we've all been through the hardship and how to get to that point. And every single day, I'm making sure that I've got the things in place to continue, because it's not like I just do this one day and I did it years ago and now I'm okay. No, you have to make sure that you continue doing it every single day.
Don't believe that I'm like this every single day since the last 5 weeks.
You are. She hides her crazy very well.
I'm just like this, every time when I'm closing the camera, no, or someone is showing up a little bit later. But I have to be saying it's really, really amazing. Like, all the experts are really there whenever I need them, and they are always here and providing. You have to know, guys, whoever is watching, that it's a voluntary event, so no one is paid for this. And all the more than 200 experts are there before the session, 5 to 10 minutes. They are ready to come and share. And this is something wonderful, that it's already worth it to do it. So it's now comes the habit, and now comes Bruno, and I have to work with him a little bit more closer to make the people more active and to be there and to take the knowledge. But the base is there. It's amazing what people are providing here for you. More than 200 sessions already, and we will not stop until almost 400 live sessions. Yeah. That means that in the last 6 weeks, it's kind of like an intensive training with all the 200 experts from all around the world. If you were here, like Jag or Simfong or Marissa or Nora or all the other people who are showing up in the comments, then you are the winner of the Global Empowerment Summit, and then you will master your habits and your mindset, because you already did the step that is missing for, I believe, how much? Like 80% of the people are missing this step of doing it and being there for themselves, right, Salvatore?
Yeah. Do you know what? You've nailed it right, the nail on the head there. There's so many people that I speak to that say that I never win a competition. I never do this. I'm never able to do this. Thank you very much. And the simple reason, but I always ask them, but do you enter competitions? And they say, no, never. Then how are you expected to win anything? You know, it's the same as this. We've got people
it's like
here.
The lottery, like the God, I want to win the lottery. Oh, please buy a ticket.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and this is like the people that we have on here now. The people that are going to make an effort to come and watch us, to come and take the information that they need to improve. They're on a mission, and they're the ones that, they are the ones that need to be applauded, because they've made a step that and some of these people will have no idea how big of a step they've made by being here today. You know, them being here today means that they've made such a huge step that essentially they could have changed their lives forever, and they don't even know the impact that they're going to do. Because from here, it's a little bit like a snowball effect. The more stuff that you learn, the more stuff that you do to become a better version of yourself, bit by bit. It doesn't matter if it's a tiny little bit of an improvement to a massive bit of improvement, it's an improvement. And if you do that every single day, then you're going to become a massive person. And there was this quote about, if you did something little every single day for the entire year, then imagine what you would be like and how you would what you'd be facing if you looked at yourself in a year's time. And this is why, it's the simple things. Don't put pressure on yourself. Don't overcomplicate things. And the biggest message that I always say to people, it's okay to not be okay. We all have our bad days. We are all humans. But if you try something and it doesn't work, back to the drawing board and try something else. Oh, thank you very much, Nuria.
Beautiful message. I wouldn't put anything after this. I think you also nailed it, and I believe we will have a long-term collaboration here around habits and how to activate people. There's so many things to do around the world. And believe me, if the whole coaching industry can really do this, what they're supposed to do, and it's not the
Yeah.
fault of anyone. It's just that it's today it's not working because it's not changing habits. It's just putting a lot of information on people, and it doesn't get to the stage when those changes are implemented. So it has to be
100%.
just like you said, enough, just a small little information, and take one advice, put it on a paper, and then try to put it into your life and change that little habit step by step, or project by project, like one of the other speakers said. Thank you very much, Salvatore. Amazing to have you here again. Nora is your
always good to be
fan.
here.
She will go and get her paella. I believe so.
I think she's already knocking.
I think it's Malaysia. You know, we have very fast planes here.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, really, Andrea. Because it's sharing a message to everyone and trying to get that positive message across in this day and age is super important. So I'm loving what you're doing, and I have no idea how you haven't gone crazy yet.
Let's see. You know, I will do backstage videos, and then I will post them somewhere, just to be honest with everyone.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much. I have to go because Andreas is waiting in the other studio. We will meet very, very soon. And thank you for everyone tuning in. Nora,
thank you, everyone.
Someone from Facebook, maybe your friend, Simfong, and Jag, and everyone who was here. Thank you, guys. Have a beautiful evening.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.